Hey Trent Knights, Mrs. Vega. Welcome, frogs. This week we are going to be learning about the following learning targets. Reading. I can identify the problem and the solution in a story. Writing. I can write a personal narrative or small moment story with 3 parts: beginning, middle, end, which uses the words first, next, last. And math, I can read a graph with tallies and compare the numbers using the words more than or less than. This week I have a lot of really fun videos within my videos, and I have some games we're going to play. So I'm going to share my screen, and you'll notice that this week we have the vowel pattern OU and OW, and those two ways of spelling that blend, those two letters, say ow, like ow, don't hurt me. And so what you can do is when you see OU or OW in a word, you can think of me going, ow. So, for example, if I read this, ow, how, or maybe this one, count, count. What I want you to do is with your family, read all of these words and practice saying ow every time you say O, you see OW or OU. And you can make this into a bingo game. So when your family member reads a word, like say they read shout, you would find shout and you would put a little marker over it or color it in. And then when you have 4 in a row, either up and down, across, maybe diagonal, you get a bingo prize. I don't know what you have at your house. Maybe you have some M&Ms or some chocolate chips. I don't know what you like over there, but maybe your family member can give you a prize when you read the word, mark it, and you get 4 in a row. You could even play for blackout to get all of the words covered up. All right, now we're going to move on to our next idea, which is learning about the parts of the story. And when we read our story this week, I want you to think about where's the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I also want you to think about the problem, which is something bad that happens in the story, and the solution, which is something good that happens in the story. So I have selected a button I didn't want to push. So I'm getting back into the one I wanted. There it is. Okay, so we have a story this week called Dad's Game. And the beginning of the story goes like this. Howie and Dad have a long ride home. I do not like the bus ride, said Howie. It is so boring. Okay, so that's the beginning. What's happening? Well, they have to go home and they're on a bus. And the problem is it's so boring. So let's see if Dad comes up with a solution to that problem. We can play a game, Dad said. Don't look and guess where we are. I will give clues. Howie didn't look. So, what do you think the solution was? How did they solve that problem? Well, Dad made a game out of going home and just giving clues to see where they are. So, let's see if it helps his problem of boredom. I see swings and a slide, said Dad. Where are we now? It's the town park. Wow, shouted Howie. Remember, he's not looking, he's just listening, and then he checks. Then they played some more. Now, right now we're in part 2 of the story, right? The middle, that's what's happening, and we're starting to get to the end of the story. This is the last part. Then they played some more. Then Dad said, you can look now. We are back in our brown house. That wasn't boring at all, said Howie. Oh boy. So the end, we found out that the solution worked to the problem. They played a game together and then it wasn't boring. So when you're with your parents or your caregiver, you're going to go ahead and do this page that's going to help you think about the problem and the solution. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about writing, one of my favorite things to talk about. And you'll see this hand on the paper. And this is actually one of my favorite strategies. So I'm going to stop sharing and talk about it with you a little bit. So we are going to be writing a personal narrative story, which is a fancy way of saying a story about you. You get to think of a really strong, powerful memory, and we call it a small moment story because it's a small moment in time, and we want to focus in on those details and make it really fun and interesting to read. So one way you can do that is you can take your hand and you can think about the beginning, middle, and end of your story. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just going to have 3 fingers up because those are the parts we're studying. You might have 5 parts to your story. I don't know, but I'm just going to stick with 3. And this week, instead of drawing a picture for my story, I took a picture. So I'm going to pull that up so you can see it. Okay, here we go. I got the picture all ready for you. Look at this. Whoa, you're not going to believe it, but Mr. Vega took this picture right in our own backyard. There were some robins that love to come and eat worms in our yard, and they built this big, beautiful nest. And we got a little picture of it. It was so cool. So now I'm going to show you how I would do a little personal narrative about that story. So you've seen the picture of the real nest. Here is the sketch that I drew of the robins and the nest and hopefully some eggs. There weren't any eggs when we took the picture. So I could say this. First, we noticed there was a nest in the yard. Then we saw, or you could say then or next, we saw the robins bringing sticks back and forth. And last, I saw Mama Robin sitting on her eggs. She does it every morning when I go out there. So those are my 3 details that I'm going to be writing about. First, next, last. But I can do something really cool. I can take my fingers and expand them and write more details. So I might say, first, I saw some robins in my yard. They like to eat worms. Next, I saw the robins building a nest. They flew back and forth for hours. Last, I saw Mama Robin sitting on her eggs. She did it every day. So that's how I could think about it and talk about it. And this is actually what I wrote down. You'll see it's a little different because writers are always revising or changing their writing to make it better and better. So I'll read to you what I wrote. First, we found a nest in our tree. Next, I saw 2 robins bring sticks to the nest. And here's my expanded detail. They flew back and forth for hours. Last, I saw Mama Robin sitting on her eggs. Woo! I'll keep you updated if there's any baby robins that pop out in the next few weeks. So when you're writing your personal narrative, I want you to think of some memory that really gets you excited thinking about it. Tell me what happened first, next, last. And if you're brave, you can expand the details and add more things. All right, I have another fun video for you to watch to learn about tallies in math. So we're going to be problem solving using counting with tallies. And I really like that video because it shows how to write your tallies, and you have them in groups of 5. So you saw they went 1, 2, 3, 4, and drew a line across for 5. So when I share my screen and I show you our, let's see, I show you our work for the week, and here it is. Thank you for your patience. Okay. share screen again. Okay, so you're gonna see some tally charts, and you'll notice on my whiteboard that our goal was to not only just count the numbers of tallies in the chart or graph, but we're going to compare them for more than or less than in a story problem. So just like last week, we are going to pay attention to all the parts of a graph, and this is a tally graph or tally chart. And we're going to read the title. It says, do more children like chicken or pizza better? And excuse me, that was the question. Do more children like chicken or pizza better? And here's the title of the tally chart. Food we like. And this category says total. And here is a picture of chicken and a picture of pizza. And I'm curious what you would mark. Would you mark chicken or pizza? I think I might mark pizza. Okay, so here we go. And we're gonna count the tallies just like they did in the video. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3 children liked pizza. So you can see they wrote a 3 here. And let's count the pizza. I see one of those groups. And just like the video showed, I know there's 5 tallies in a group. So I'm gonna count on from 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would write an 8 right here. It says each one is a tally mark. It stands for 1 child. 5 stands for 5 children. More children like pizza. We can see that, right? There's more tallies in the box for pizza than there is chicken. So now we're going to move on to a story problem about tallies. And we're going to look at always the title of the chart first. Boys and girls in our class, total. This line has the boys and this one has the girls. And let's count how many there are. 5, and we're going to count on 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I could, I would write a 9 right there. You can do it on your paper at home. 5, 6. 6. So there's 9 boys and 6 girls. And then it says use the tally chart to answer each question. How many girls are in the class? Well, if you wrote this down first, see how easy it is to write it now? You know there's 6 girls. How many boys are in the class? There were 9 boys. How many children are in the class in all? So whenever you see those words like total, altogether, in all, they want you to add the numbers. They don't want you to subtract, they want you to add it so you know how many in all. So if I were to add 9 plus 6, I could do it this way because I have groups of tallies here. I could say 5 and 5 is 10. And then I could count on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 6 plus 9 equals 15 children. And the last question asks, are there more boys or girls in the class? And if I look at the tally chart, it's very easy to compare. I can see there are more boys than girls in the chart. So I would write boys. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed those fun videos. There's a lot out there. So if you search for more, if you want to learn more about other subjects, you can find it. And I'll keep sharing them with you. See you next week. Bye, frogs.